Hi everyone, you have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Like this video, hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And finally, share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. Well, guys, Monica from All About the Tea, the avatar Monica, broke her silence last night. I watched the live. It was 110 minutes. I mean, if you have time or the opportunity, go watch it for yourselves. Here is my take on it, my views. Don't beat me up over my views. You can have different views than me. This is just my take on the 110 minutes last night. Well, she decided to have, I don't know if I should call her a moderator, the interviewer, or someone to kind of help her break the whole situation down. So altogether, a total of 3 people came to support Monica as she broke this down or broke her silence. But the one who was moderating the whole thing was Dr. Griffin, PhD. And you're probably wondering, well, who is she? She is, if you go back on Monica's older videos, when the Real Housewives of Potomac had the season where Pastor Jamal Bryant was on it, and Giselle, his ex-wife, they was saying like they was getting back together. Well, Tanya Griffin kind of broke the internet a little bit because she was dating Jamal Bryant around that time, and she had her side of the story. So she went to Monica. Monica supported her and allowed her to come on her platform and tell her side of the story. And I think that for me is where the connection is. It was like, Tanya felt, Dr. Griffin felt like, Monica came and helped me in my time of need. I'm going to support her and help her in her time of need. The only problem I had with Dr. Griffin doing this is that she was biased towards Monica. And listen, guys, who would bring someone up on their show to help them in when I'm a label to do damage control and they don't like you? You would never do that, okay? You need your friends, and when you're in times like this, her and Dr. Griffin are friends. She came to help her out in this situation. However, I really don't think she helped. My opinion, I think she made things kind of worse. Here's the thing, even with all of us, with my friends, we all do stuff wrong. It happens. Listen, we're not perfect. We are human. So my friends would be like, listen, boo, you're wrong. I'm going to support you, in front of the public, but, privately, I got to tell you, you was dead wrong. I'm going to help you fix this situation, but we're going to have to keep it real. I'm going to have to ask you some tough questions that the audience, that the subscribers want the answers to. It's going to be uncomfortable, but this is what's going to get you over the hurdle, and know that I'm here to support you and not, harm you. So, in my opinion, Dr. Griffin, everything that came out of her mouth was biased towards Monica's side, and it didn't really help the situation. It didn't help us get down to, an apology. And that's if Monica came on there to do the apology. I don't know what her strategy was last night. So, that was Dr. Griffin was kind of moderating the situation. She gave a little bit of background on different things, and then she asked Monica to speak to it. Here, let me put this up front. Monica stated that she's getting threats on her life. I'm telling you right up front, first of all, this situation is not that serious. Nowhere near that serious. I don't at this point know who's telling the truth versus who's not. You can't tell because everybody's telling a different story, okay? But I will say this, regardless of what the situation is, no one should be threatening Monica's life, trying to expose her and her kids and her family in her home. That's way over the top, and it's too much, and I think it's not necessary. I think it's the same problem we're having with sports fans, going way too over the top. You're just here to see a sport, a basketball game. Somebody has to lose. Okay, so we're not going to curse out the other team, beat up players, throw popcorn and soda bottles on them just because you don't like the way they performed. It's just a mess. And I think this right here is a situation that happened. It's an unfortunate situation. Everybody has whose side they want to believe, but it doesn't mean that if you don't believe the one person, you should threaten their life. That's ridiculous. So on that note, I think that piece right there is absolutely unacceptable. And people need to stop. And I think all of her former platform members, they need to go on their platform now and just ask people to knock it off and stop, because it's really not that serious. So that part pulled my heartstrings. I was like, not fair, not right, and unacceptable, because nothing is that serious. She didn't harm anybody physically, and now people are threatening her life. That's just ridiculous, okay? So that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is that, she had two other people stop by. Wally, he has a channel on YouTube, and then Heidi. They were her supporters, right? So we'll go back to Dr. Griffin, who was moderating this whole thing. A major portion of it, I was tired last night, so I didn't calculate up the minutes. A major portion of it, in my mind, they were still dragging Ples. So, and I think because, these are my opinions, Monica feels this whole storm that she's going through is 100% Ples's fault, right? Well, honey, how could it be? If you didn't, there was a lot of stuff playing behind the scenes. And if y'all left it behind the scenes, we would have all had to speculate. But it wasn't left behind the scenes. There was a lie, Monica, that you invited Ples in. You said you was going to let her in. She had to be backstage, however that works, and you let her in so that y'all can talk this out and talk it through. It didn't go the way that you thought it was going to play out in your head. You got pissed. We was able to see that on the live. You, Monica, then said, you know what? I don't normally do this. I lost control. I'm paraphrasing, right? You lost control, and you said, you know what? I'm going to delete this live as soon as we're done. So Ples then said to you, if you will delete yours, I will delete mine. In my mind, that's both of y'all men. And listen, we both made mistakes. This went too far. You delete yours, I'll delete mine, and we're going to move on with life. That's how I took it when I saw it. Well, last night, Monica drug all of that stuff back up. She talked about the part 1 and part 2 of Ples. It was just, to me, it was a mess. They gave Ples' whole name. It was digs again on her profession, because they said, I expected more out of you because of your profession. Listen, regardless of our profession, we're all human. Okay, and we all get emotional and we all get in our feelings sometimes. So don't start dragging just because my profession is XYZ. I should have had more self-control, because the same could be said about you, Monica. It was your platform. You're the leader. You probably should have seen stuff like this all the time, and you should have had more self-control to diffuse the situation. So that was that. Like I said, a major portion of it, to me, was still a drag in her plans, but then it circled back, and she did give her some praise about some things, but the two didn't balance itself out. Again, my opinion. I will also say this in Monica's defense. Listen, and two can be true for what the statement I'm about to say. She gave them an opportunity. No one has to let you on the platform. And they probably helped each other. Subscribers were probably raised because of them being panelists, but they also got the exposure to, and other people got to see them and like them, and then perhaps go to their channel and like their channel too. So it was a two-way street. There's this, the DMX song, you use me, I used you. I mean, they both, used each other, and the word use doesn't have to be negative. They both used each other in a good way. I used you to build my platform, but you also used me because you was able to build yourself up too. And she said how she praised Ples about her lipstick every night, with the hopes of Ples would come out with a cosmetic line with her lipsticks, and then she knew it would blow up. I do believe that. I also believe this, and I'm not saying this is what happened with Monica and Ples and all of them. I believe this. Sometimes you have friends that will help you because you're so far in the gullet and so far away from their level that they're not intimidated by you. But then when they see you start to rise up, and you rising up and you're still nowhere near them, but they see you rising up, then they get a little jealous, and they're like, oh, hold on a minute. She may rise, she may get higher than me. And that's where tension starts to come in, and you want to look at them and say, listen, boo, you way ahead of me. Okay, I just started the race. You're miles ahead of me. This little bit of attention I got, I'm still not going to catch up to you. Plus, God has blessings for all of us. So I think a mixture of all of that happened, that yes, she was supporting them. She was trying to help them build their channel. And then I think somewhere along the line, and I really do believe it was based on the comments people were putting in about how much they liked Ples, that jealousy started to happen across the board, not just with Monica. Okay, last night you were not able to comment in the comment section unless you was a member. I don't even know how to become a member, but if it involves money, I knew I wasn't going to do it. People, I guess with super chats, you don't have the ability to delete the comments, or you can't delete the comments as quickly. So people were doing super chats if they wanted their comment to really be seen, because they was deleting, the moderators was on top of their job last night. They were deleting negative comments like really quickly. Like as I saw the scrolls coming up, there was a lot of people, I would see their name and it said deleted, 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 as in, I guess their comments were deleted. Okay, so, very rarely did you see too many comments that, probably was going to ask her a question or get at the issue. And I think that's what happened too with this Dr. Griffin. She wasn't getting at the real issue at hand. And I think Monica did her live too soon because she's still very emotional. And I understand why. It's an emotional situation. Because she had a moderator that was sending other YouTubers emails trying to expose who she really is. And she had a cute hashtag. I'll give this to her. She said, protect the avatar. And she also mentioned, I don't remember the names because as I said, I was half tired. She also mentioned several other YouTubers that have millions of subscribers, like 7.5 million, that all you see is their avatar. So yes, we want to know who she is because we just want to know, but she does have that right. She started out as an avatar. She wants to be the avatar, and that's who she is. And I don't think anybody has the right to expose her. People were sending me stuff saying this is who she really is. I'm just like, I'm not touching that because that's not what I'm here for. This is a situation that happened. I want to learn from the situation, talk about the situation, but I'm not here to try to expose anybody. And this woman, and y'all can go watch the video and whatever, because she mentions the name. I'm not going to re-mention the name here. The woman that everyone is saying that Monica truly is, has been getting threats on her life. They have been calling her job. Monica said the police is involved. It's a whole hot mess. And the reason why I feel it's a hot mess is because threatening somebody's life over this situation, in a situation that has nothing to do with you, that's a bit much and over the top. So I think on this Wally, it was alleged that Monica came on the show, but it was her avatar, and she said that was not her. Okay. She also did a little dragging of the bishop. She was like, as a man, you was on my platform talking about the celebrities, talking about these females, you had a higher calling. So it was, and she said that the bishop never, told her that he was leaving. She said she never got any email, text, or anything about him leaving. Again, she found out from his live. We're never going to know the true truth, okay? She also said this, that Marcella told her that she never told the bishop that she was leaving the show. That was interesting to me because as I told y'all the other day, I reached out to Marcella. Did not physically speak to her. It was all through the DM. And she clearly wrote, okay, that the bishop was telling the truth. The absolute truth was her words. And remember I told you, I never asked her if she was leaving or staying, so I can't confirm or deny that. But if she said that bishop was telling the absolute truth, and he mentioned on his show that you were leaving, then why to Monica, according to Monica last night, she said you never said you were leaving. So like I said, we're never going to probably know the real truth because everybody has their version of their side, how they saw it through their eyes, okay? It's their version of the truth, okay? It's what they believe. out of the situation that happened. So she addressed Bishop, talked a smidgen about Schoolboy and a smidgen about Marcella. Well, I will say this also. She mentioned how, I guess I gotta throw myself in this bucket, how everybody is monetizing off of her pain, and how All About the Tea has been hashtagged or talked about over 70,000 times. Well, Monica, we're all doing the same thing. Okay, and every week or almost every day when you was doing your 5 days a week, you were monetizing off the pain of celebrity. So, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, we're calling a spade a spade. So, and everybody is not taking the standpoint of just attacking you. I'm trying to break this down in a logical way. And I will say this, sometimes we have to understand we reap what we sow. So you, and whether right, wrong, or different, because people do want to hear about different things, you drag Tiny and T.I. for several of your shows. One of the shows where I think I kind of started to fall back a little bit is where she called it a joke and fun shade, where she said that, when the feds come and the FBI come, I hope that, the kids there and everybody's on the floor, and it went too far. If you saw the show, you saw the show, and you know what I'm talking about. So I'm saying to myself, so you drag that was fun shade to you, but now that it's being flipped on you, you see how it doesn't feel good. It hurts. Just like you said, you're human, they're human too. And you're saying, well, you don't make up, their situations. Their situation happens and you talk about it. You could talk about it, and I think everybody wants to hear about it, but it's a thin line between fun shade and being just mean spirited. Okay. So she said that, people come to her show All About the Tea because they want to hear the hot pipe and tea. And she gives it. Okay. She said they want to hear the mess. This I will agree with too. People do want to hear the mess. We can play it off all we want, but people tune in to the mess. People tune into the messy thumbnails. So people do want to hear the mess. I think the difference is, from when I started watching her at the beginning, for me, the difference is, it used to be like fun shade. It used to be commentary. It used to be like a recap of what happened on these different shows. And it went from that to just digging into people to a level, to me, that went over to the mean side. There was another time when she talked about Giselle and Jamal Bryant, one of his daughters, his older daughters, she crossed over and became an AKA, and he congratulated her. Monica talked about that story. And then, not Monica, but one of the panelists, and if you watch the show, you know who it was like, Giselle's children are ugly. See, I thought that went too far. And that's when I was like, you know what, I like the whole panel idea. I liked some of the things they was doing, but then I was like, that's too far. And if you ever seen the movie Scarface, it's like super old with Al Pacino. There's this line, he was a gangster, and listen, he did in that movie horrific things, if you ever seen the movie. But they needed him to do something to this guy. And when he went to go do it, the guy was getting in the car with his wife and the kids. And he told all his people, no woman, no children. And I think when you do this thing here, there's a line that you have to say, I'm not going to cross. And to me, talking about her kids, you crossed the line. Now, I will say this, I also saw, I think it was great, I back up a little bit, that, other people came to support her. Because, listen, we all do wrong. Our friends, all of our friends shouldn't drop us just because we do something wrong. They should support us in our time of need. So, Marquise Wally came on, he's another YouTuber, and Heidi came on just to, say, I support you. I will say this, Tasha K also, she didn't come on the show. I saw a little statement or a little video by Tasha K where Tasha K is like, listen, people need to stop dragging her. And there was something that I agreed about what Tasha K said. As African Americans, Black people, whatever you want to call us, when we do a business, when we are an entrepreneur, we get the hardest time from everybody around us. No one wants to pay the market value price for a product. The minute we do something slightly wrong, they're dragging us for filth. But if it was someone else and they did the same thing or even worse, they wouldn't drag that person for filth like that. So, and then too, when you have people that'll come work for you when you're an entrepreneur, they feel entitled for some reason to be almost a partnership or part owner in your business, and you don't feel that way when you go work for Target, Walmart, corporate America. You work your butt off for them, and you don't feel like you deserve part ownership in their business. Listen, again, she paid them according to everything everyone's saying. Normally, panelists don't get paid. So if you have a situation where most of them get zero and you got more than zero, then I guess it is a win. Okay, the pay seemed low to me, but if people are saying that normally people get nothing and you got something, then you're winning. I mean, you agreed at the end of the day. They did a lot of hours, did a lot of nights, but you agreed to it. So guys, watch the video. Let me know your thoughts. I personally didn't think it helped. I think she needed another moderator or another person leading her into the questions. I thought Dr. Griffin was too close to Monica and couldn't be neutral in the situation. She needed someone that loved her, that is neutral. She needed a publicist or someone to help her out in this situation. If it was me, I would have came on and said, listen, teacups, I handled it wrong. I made a mistake. Forgive me, and I want my previous panelists, if they all left or however it goes, to forgive me also. I'm going to do better. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. If you unsubscribed and you never want to subscribe to me again, all right, God bless you. If you unsubscribed and you want to come back and give me a chance and see me grow, much love. And if you're still here and you're sticking with me no matter what, totally love you. I want to thank all of you for being a teacup over the years. I want to thank you for continuing to be a teacup, and stay tuned because I'm going to do better. I'm coming back, and I'll see you Friday night for our next show. And if you have a new panel, introducing you to my new panel. And like she said, no, I'm not going to review myself. I'm protecting the avatar. So stop asking me to show my face, especially when there's tons of YouTubers out there that don't show their face. That's how I would have did it, but that's me. Monica handled it the way that she wanted to handle it, and she has spoken. And if you got time, use your 110 minutes and go watch it for yourself. Chat with me in the comments. Talk to you soon, and thank you for listening.